Well, good afternoon. Thanks for joining me for today's Lunch and Learn. I'm Keith Armour. I'm the Education and Homework Support Manager down here at the main library in the Adult Learning Center. Now, we are going to talk about Brainfuse Summer Skill Camp. Now, you might not want to have the kids around because we are going to talk about how to sneak in a little bit of academic learning throughout the summer so they're more prepared when they go back to school in the fall. It looks like more and more schools are going to be in person, and we want the kids to be really prepared. So this is a free service for our homework help line right there online. So I definitely think it's something that we could look into. We're going to look into some other things as well, and some activities that are going on at the library. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump in. All right. So we've arrived at our website, cincinnatilibrary.org, and this is our summer page. So Discover Summer. I've talked about this before, but our program runs through June and all the way through the end of July. And there's so many different things that you can do. You can get your to-go pack at the library, at your nearest library. You don't even have to have a library card. So if you have a person that is in the neighborhood and they have kids and you're like, hey, go to the library and get this material, and they say, oh, I don't have a library card, you can quickly say, you don't have to have a library card to pick up this age-appropriate material that will help with keeping them active with their brain during the summer. And they can even win great prizes. They can get to keep a book. There's some take and make activities. And there's even a literacy calendar as well. And of course, I've talked about this before. You can even download the activity booklet if you don't want to make it into the library. You're heading out the door on a trip. You can download the pre-K booklet, the elementary booklet, the middle school, the teen, and even the pre-K literacy calendar that will keep them active throughout the summer, academically and also physically, because these are some great activity books that were done with a lot of great, wonderful Cincinnati organizations like the ballet, like the great parks of Hamilton County, the museum center, just the art museum, just some great organizations help put these activity books together. And then of course we've got some books down here that you can check out. And you can also download these right to your device as well. And then there's some programs, some learning apps, some web resources that are specific to those four different age groupings. And then of course our summer meal program and then our prizes as well. So another thing I want to point out is we put together, and I'll have a link for this, and these are Cincinnati Public School librarians share their picks for summer reading. Now, if your child does not go to Cincinnati Public, perfectly fine. We actually cover 22 different school districts in Hamilton County. So but these are some great suggestions for kids just to get you started and trying to find a book. I know one thing that I always enjoyed, especially during the summer, when I was over in Groesbeck as a third grader, my parents would take me over to the library and I could select all sorts of different books. Don't forget about our libraries are open Monday through Saturday from 10 in the morning until 6 at night. You're more than welcome to come in and select some books. And I know that was such a great highlight of my summer, was to pick any type of book that I want. And pleasure reading is so important during the summer, and not just for kids, but for adults. And then, of course, we would like you to encourage them to read all year long. But these are some great starting points. It even goes up to high school here with Almost American Girl, and that's an illustrated book. And just some good ways to get going. And then, of course, you have so many different things here. Here's award winners right down here. If I click on this link, here's some award-winning books that go all the way back to 2016. So there's a whole bunch of things on our website that we want to make sure that you're keeping your children active academically and keeping their minds going. And we also want, I'm going to put a link to this as well. These are 9 library resources for boosting kids' social emotional learning. It's been a very trying year and a half, and kids react a little differently. There's a nice graphic about social and emotional learning, and Allie put this together. She's a teen librarian over at Walnut Hills. She's wonderful. But here's some library resources. Of course, we have all sorts of outdoor story times that you can attend. Enjoy mindful coloring. They have coloring sheets that you can print out, and it is amazing how it just kind of calms you down, even as an adult. You can listen to music and you can download it right there from Freegal. Of course, watch movies and documentaries. There's different homework help sessions still going on. And of course, watch a Storytime video. We have a huge selection of Storytime videos that are on our YouTube page. We still might have a few attend seat swap. I think we just had our last one. Practice new art skills with Creative Bug. And then, of course, here's some books that will help you. Here's some for the elementary grades. Here's from high schoolers. And this is to kind of help you understand. Here's social emotional learning for adults. And it's just really important to try to get them back on the right footing where they feel very, very secure. And we just want to keep them actively involved during the summer. So I'm going to click back to the main page. And we're going to go over here to research databases. And then, believe it or not, we're going to go to homework help. Now, homework help has a whole bunch of features. And if you want to learn about something, these are great resources here. World Book Kids, the early world of learning is perfect for preschoolers and even like a kindergartner, first or second grader. Those are great activities. If someone comes into the news and people would like information about them, and your child goes, oh, I wonder who that is, Biography in Context is a great source to find information about a famous person that they might be interested in. Especially if they're finding a book and they find a book on something or someone and they want to look that up. And then of course, if you come into our branches, you can have the kids that are 2 years old all the way up to 7 on ABC Mouse. It is a great program that is only available actually inside the library. Now, Homework Help Now is our premier service that we have that it provides live tutoring, live help, 7 days a week from 2 in the afternoon until 11 at night. And I know some kids are attending some summer enrichment programs, and also some students are having some summer packets, and you're working through different things. Well, this still is active. Remember, 7 days a week from 2 in the afternoon until 11 at night, and that's live tutoring. Now, they always are very good up here about letting you know when they're not going to be available. And for Independence Day, July 4th, is on a Sunday, so they will not have service. The rest of these services will be here. Collaboration, you've got the e-parachute, you've got Flashbulb, which is all sorts of great flashcards. Leap Learning Platform. We're going to go to summer camp in just a second, but they've got the writing lab, so if they're having to write an essay for a college entrance or something like that, definitely you can upload a writing sample or a writing paper, and then an expert will look at it and return it to you within 24 hours. There's the Skill Surfer, and summer camp is taking some things from Skill Surfer, but Skill Surfer is very, very, very comprehensive. There's some mind exercises that you can learn a little bit about chess, but here's the lower elementary, and here is kindergarten math, kindergarten reading and science, and then you got first grade and you've got second grade as well. So you've got all of them right there. And then you've got the upper elementary starting from grade 3 all the way to grade 5. and then middle school from grade 6 on up, and then of course all of the social studies down here. And then you've got high school, and it's still broken down into those categories, but then they add a little bit down here with AP exam prep. And a lot of kids are going back into school in the fall, and they might want to prepare for their advanced placement exams. And there's even a section for high school equivalency tests. And in Ohio, the GED is recognized, and also the high set. The task is not recognized as a high school equivalency test that people can take. So you'd want to focus on high stat and the GED. You've got college now here, and how to apply for college, and introduction to the whole application process, which is a lot. And then you've got computer. You've got this section right here. A lot of entrance exams here, and not just AP tests, but ACT and SAT. And then you've got learning for adults. Say you want to learn some things right along with them. And you've got ESL. And then you even have a parent corner down here that has some useful videos and helpful articles as well. Okay? So that's the Skill Surfer. Let me go back to home. And so this is all right here. Oh, let me point out right here the featured service down here before I get to summer camp. You can get live help on chess. So it's a chess tutoring, and you can even schedule a tutoring session. And there's some online resources here that you can look at the basics of chess. And then these are some links that would take you to different spots. On here, the 5 types of chess tactics, and it'll take you down, and you'll leave the BrainFuse website and go to an outside resource. But you can learn all about chess that way. And let me go right back to that featured service. And then you can get live help as well. But remember, the live help is Monday or 7 days a week from 2 in the afternoon till 11 at night. And then if you are in the process, I think the deadline for fall was in June, but there is live FAFSA help here, and you can even schedule a session there as well. But we're going to go back to the home page on BrainFuse Help now, and we're going to focus our time today on summer camp. Now, the summer camp actually starts with grade 3, okay? So it's not for kindergarten or first grade or second grade. It really is for the 3rd grader and on. Now, if you have a 2nd grader that is going into 3rd grade, this would be a great way to also prepare them for that as well. And it's Summer Skills Camp, and you can even search different things up here in this. There are reading lessons, and you can watch videos, you can take tests, and know a little bit more as well. And it's broken down by elementary school, starting in grade 3, middle school, high school, parent resources, and test prep. So they've taken some of the material from the Skill Surfer, and they've added it to this. So it's a little bit more, it's like a side dish instead of the main meal when it comes to doing some academic work. So let's just jump in here for grade 3 summer camp math. And you'll notice that it has different categories, depends on the place, thinking about thousands, added up. I'm not going to read all of them, but it keeps going all the way down here to is it Fahrenheit hot or Celsius hot? And I always have a hard time figuring that as well, so maybe I should do that. Now, there's a couple of things to remember. You've got some different sessions here, but then you have some links that will take you outside, and some of them is to play a game. But let's just go right here to refresher on place value. Now, I used to teach 2nd grade and 3rd grade, So I think this is a really valuable resource that you have access to, and it works on a tablet as well. So if you have an iPad or an Android tablet, it would work on here as well. So it just gives you a kind of a review on how you do the place value. So here you have the number 361. Well, how many hundreds, how many tens, how many ones? And it brings it down. And if you had any homework that you helped your child with who is in second or third grade, you know this right here. The standard form, that's 361. The expanded form is 300 plus 60 plus 1. And then the word form is writing the word out to 361. And so those are the three different ways that you write 361. And then they give you some examples of here. So here's home runs for 868, and they've broken it down here. So that's just a real quick review. And then you've got some practice. Now it says right here, write each number in two other ways. Use standard form, expanded form, and word form. So they give you the example right here. So here's what they gave you, and then you would write here the standard form and then the word form. So here they've given you the expanded form, and they want you to write down the standard form and the word form. So that would be a very quick activity, just a piece of paper, and have your child write it down the two different ways. And look, there's only 3 problems here. And then there's just here, write each number in a standard form. So now they're just looking at the expanded form, and then they're rewriting it as the standard form. So 194. Here, right here is the same way. They're looking at the number block for 100 and then tens and then ones. And you want them to understand that they don't have to literally count each one of these, that this whole block right here is 100. And this stack right here is 10, and these are all broken out individually as 1. You want them to visually understand that, so then that speeds up the process here. So they're going to write down the standard form 100, 111, 114, that's what I should say. And then here, remember, they're not going to be able to count all of these, but they need to understand as a second grader or going into third grader or a third grader as review that these are all hundreds. So those are 3 hundreds and then 2 tens, and then the ones are right there. Okay? So look, there are only on here 23 problems, only 23. And that's a great review of doing a place value. And just in case you didn't know, there's the answer key that's right here in the bottom. Okay? So you're not going to have them do all of this, but here's a skill game. And here they give you some suggestions. You can get some dice, and you can get dice at the dollar store. You can get a Family Dollar. You can get pretty much dice anywhere. You can get, if you have a board game, you can use the dice that are there. And then it tells you how to use those dice in making it into a game for them. And then they roll it out, and then they decide to make the biggest number they can. And then you can also try to use the dice to make the smallest number. But here's a real quick game that you could play with your kids. You can have them do that, and they're working on just the skill, the place value of skill. And then here's a reviewing place value. Now this one actually doesn't take you out. This is a flashcard. It's a place value flashcards. And then you can also do a matching game by just clicking here and matching the different ones to the ones over here. Or, let me go back home here. And then there's some other flashcards that are on here as well. But if I want to do snowman, click here. And snowman's very much like a hangman, but it's called snowman. All right. So let me go back to the main page. I'm going to go back to, depends on the place value. So here's just the summer camp math for grades 3. And once again, it has some refresher courses here just to kind of have them refresh the skill that they've probably already learned, and then some practice, and then an activity that goes with it. Let's look at this one right down. Let's look at fun fractions. So you've got read and write fractions. So it gives you an example, and then they want you to try it. And then draw a picture to show each fraction. And then here's some examples. Here's the answers at the bottom. Then going here, use fractions to name parts of groups. Okay. And then there's an activity. Reassemble the pizzas. And I like how adult supervision is recommended. But you can make this activity, and then here's a fraction flashcards as well. And it's broken down with matching and also the snowman as well. Okay? So let me go back to summer camp. So this is just 3rd grade math. And say if they get like 3 of the math problems or 4 or 5 of the math problems correct on the practice, then you're like, oh, great. You want to say, that's wonderful. You know that skill. That is outstanding. And then, of course, you have science, and you have language arts, and you have social studies as well. So let's go to 3rd grade language arts. And here is reading warm-ups, some summer reading. So Off to the Moon. Let's look at this one. Here's a short story about Off to the Moon, a very short story about Off to the Moon. And then there is a question that's asked. Short 2 little paragraphs. Well, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's a lot more there. Which place is hotter? And they should know this information after reading those paragraphs. So here's a story, and then here's the answers below as well. Okay? So this is just a way to keep them active. You're going to find it on the main page. So you're going to find it on the main page. You're going to go to Research Databases, go to Homework Help, scroll down, click on to Homework Help Now. And if you're outside the library, you'll probably have to put in your library card and your pen. And then the summer camp is right here. And you just don't want to, it's not like you're going to have your own summer school at your house or in your apartment or in your home, but you're going to just try to have them touch base with some academics during the summer. You want them to be prepared for when they go back. And of course, if they do have summer school or they have a summer packet, Homework Help Now has those live expert help that is 7 days a week from 2 in the afternoon till 11 at night. All right. Now let's jump over here to events. Oh, wait, let me just click right down here to high school. You'll notice here is high school, and that encompasses a lot, but maybe they had some issues with algebra, or maybe they're kind of nervous about having to take chemistry this year. This is a good little summer boost on a lot of flashcards here, a lot of different articles here to work you through that as well. Okay, so let me jump over to events. The events that are happening, there are so many different ones, especially the drop-in events. Miami Township is having that Brood Bingo still that's going on. There's I Spy over in Wyoming tomorrow. Take and make watercolor painting. There's that Shrinky Dinks that are happening at Miami Township. Oh, watercolors over at Avondale. And then you've got some outdoor, oh, here, this is our outdoor office hours. And this is our That's going to be over at Mumford for our wonderful Danny, who is our library's 2021 writer in residence, and then Virtual Creative Club, and then there's some other ones on here as well. The City Drop-In, help build a city in Oakley. Donate days. And this is such a great thing that our friends of the public library put on. They set themselves up, and this time it's going to be over at Deer Park. And that's going to be this Saturday from 9 a.m. until 12. And they're going to have where you can drop off some gently used books, CDs, and DVDs, and they turn those around and they resell them. And what's great is that money comes towards the program. So those take and makes, those online programs, all that, some of that is funded by our wonderful friends of the Public Library organization. So definitely check that out. And then there's going to be a upcoming Friends of the Library, and this is the Anderson Township a library organization, and that's over at Green Township, and that's going to be in July the 24th. So you want to check out if you want to gather some materials. It's a great time to clean out some of the things and donate it along the way. So definitely check out summer camp right here at Brainfuse. That's summer camp, summer skills camp, and keep them active and make sure they're checking out books and coming to the library and enjoying themselves. All right, I'm going to click out and tell you a few more things and we'll call it a day. All right, that's today's Lunch and Learn, all about how the library can help provide some free activities for your child to kind of keep their brain active during the summer with, of course, Brainfuse Summer Skills Camp. Obviously, our Discover Summer activity books that you can still pick up at your local library or download them right there online. Go to get our Discovery Pass so you can enjoy some wonderful institutions like the great parks of Hamilton County. You can check that out. And also tomorrow is for all those aspiring writers. Our writer in residence is having office hours from 12 to 1. You can check those out and kind of share some of your writing and get some tips from her. So that would be great. Also, donate days at Deer Park. It's happening this Saturday from 9 in the morning until noon. And that's a great way if you're cleaning up some things in your house and you have some gently used books or CDs or movies or anything, think about donating them to our Friends organization, which then turns them around and sells them, and then that money comes to provide more programs for the Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County. Also, don't forget Inside Out. Speaking of writers, they're having a poetry reading over at Price Hill on Saturday from 2 to 6. So definitely check that out. And then Monday, a very popular virtual class that we have, which is Grant's Research Lab. And Kent does an absolutely outstanding job with that. And that's from 10 in the morning until 11:30. And he'll be able to answer all of your questions. So definitely check that out. And next week, we'll have another Lunch and Learn, and have a good weekend. All right.